Morning, students. So we are in fabric manufacture lab. I am Shekhar Gaddam from Sirsilla Government Polytechnic, SRRS GPT, Sri Rajarajeshwara Swami Government Polytechnic, Rajanna Sirsilla district. So excuse me 1 minute. So today we will study about centrifugal fork mechanism. So far we have studied. So before going to centrifugal fork mechanism, what is this centrifugal fork mechanism? Where does it come from? Where does it lie in the mechanisms of the loom? So that we will understand. So first of all, it comes in auxiliary mechanisms. Okay, it comes in auxiliary mechanisms. So what are auxiliary mechanisms? Auxiliary mechanisms are helpful mechanisms. They are not necessary. They are not primary. They are not secondary. But they are auxiliary mechanisms. But they are auxiliary mechanisms. So even in if you buy a cell phone, you might have seen auxiliary things. Auxiliary things and ancillary things are the same. Ancillary equipments or auxiliary equipments are the same. So what are the auxiliary equipments? What are the auxiliary equipments when you buy a cell phone? So those are memory card, charger, headphones. These are auxiliaries. So now you might have understood what does it mean by auxiliary mechanisms. They are helpful things. They are not necessary. For a cell phone to be used, we need to make a call, then we can make a call. We don't need a headphone for it. We don't need a memory card for it. The primary purpose of cell phone is to talk on the phone, or nowadays like all these apps and all these things. But the primary purpose of cell phone is so to talk on the phone. So that is the primary purpose. So secondary purpose, to do some official work. So these are auxiliary mechanisms. So similarly in the loom, so what are the primary things in a primary thing in a cell phone? Operating system. Without the operating system, the cell phone cannot work. That's why it is called like mind of the brain. So operating system. So that is known as, so that's why these are called androids. So auxiliary mechanisms means similar to charger, memory card, headphones. In the loom also there are different kinds of auxiliary mechanisms. First of all, I will tell you about auxiliary mechanisms. Auxiliary mechanisms are the mechanisms which are useful in developing in improving the quality or in developing or improving the quality of the fabric, in developing or improving the quality of the fabric. So it helps in improving the quality of the fabric. So the auxiliary mechanisms are warp stop motion, weft stop motion, warp protector mechanism, temples, brake. These are the auxiliary mechanisms. So these are the auxiliary mechanisms. So warp stop motion, weft stop motion. So center weft fork comes under weft stop motion. I will come to that slowly. So warp stop motion, weft stop motion, warp protector mechanism, temples and brake. So these are the 5 auxiliary mechanisms that are present in a loom. So coming to warp stop motion. What is warp stop motion? We will study about warp stop motion in the next class. So that is, we have different kinds of warp stop motions: mechanical warp stop motion, electrical warp stop motion, digital optical warp stop motion. Even digital, nowadays digital warp stop motion and weft stop motion both are present nowadays. That is the latest technology that is used in on looms: digital weft stop motion, warp stop motion. That means optical fiber will be used for warp stop motion and weft stop motion. So warp stop motion, what is warp stop motion? We will come to that when it comes to the next class. So that is warp stop motion. Next, coming to weft stop motion. In the weft stop motion we have different kinds of different kinds of weft fork mechanisms. One is side weft fork mechanism and the other one is center weft fork mechanism. So we have side weft fork mechanism and center weft fork mechanism. So these are known as weft stop motions. So in the coming 3-4 days we will study about warp stop motion, weft stop motion and warp protector mechanism. What is warp protector mechanism? It is used to protect the warp simply. So those are loose reed mechanism and fast reed mechanism. Loose reed mechanism and fast reed mechanism. And also we have temples and brake mechanism. So now you might have understood our syllabus, like our course module which will go for next coming week. So that is warp stop motion. In that we will study electrical warp stop motion, digital or optical warp stop motion. Next, weft fork mechanism. We have side weft fork and center weft fork mechanism, but in the syllabus we don't have side weft fork mechanism, we have only center weft fork mechanism. So that we will study today. And warp protector mechanism. So there are 2 kinds of warp protector mechanisms. They are loose reed mechanism and fast reed mechanism. And then we have temples. Temples are those things which grip the cloth which grip the cloth, so that contraction of the cloth after the cloth is made or before winding it onto the cloth roller, so that is known as temples. Brakes is the thing brake is the thing that will stop the loom instantaneously when in case of any problem, whether it is warp stoppage problem or weft stoppage problem or warp protector problem, any problem. In that case, the loom has to stop immediately, instantaneously, in an instant. You might have seen instant coffee, so something like that. What does it mean? That instant, in a second it has to stop, otherwise the quality of the fabric will be diminished. So in that way, to so the auxiliary mechanisms, now you have understood all the auxiliary mechanisms. All the auxiliary mechanisms are mounted or fitted on the loom or developed on the loom, so that the quality of the fabric and production of the fabric increases. To increase the production of the fabric and quality of the fabric, auxiliary mechanisms are used. So what are the 5 mechanisms? Warp stop motion, weft stop motion, warp protector mechanism, temples, brake. So we will study these 4-5 mechanisms in the coming 4-5 days, and after that we will study the next topics, like development of dobbies, jacquards and all those things. So dear students, now we will come to the topic. So in the auxiliary mechanisms, center weft fork mechanism is a kind of weft stop motion. It is a weft stop motion, weft fork mechanism, weft stop motion. So what is a weft stop motion? Weft stop motion or mechanism is a mechanism where, when in case of a breakage of weft or in case of exhaustion of weft, the loom will stop immediately. So that is known as, the loom has to be stopped immediately. So that is the function of weft stop mechanism, weft stop motion. So weft stop motion is a mechanism. Please listen carefully. In case of, there are 2 cases. In case of weft breakage, so when there is a weft breakage, there will be no weft on the pern. That is in the case of weft exhaustion. So in the case of weft breakage, so the weft stop motion has to feel that there is no weft and has to send the signal to the brake mechanism, and then loom has to stop. So that is the weft stop motion. So it is used in 2 cases. One is either weft breakage or weft exhaustion. In both the cases there is no weft on the loom running. So in that case, weft stop motion is used. So we will come to center weft fork mechanism. So a weft stop motion can also be called as a weft fork mechanism, because weft fork is used for the weft stop motion. So weft fork is used for weft stop motion, therefore Therefore it is known as weft stop motion and weft fork mechanism, both are same. So here center weft fork mechanism. Coming to center weft fork mechanism, we have similar to the side weft fork mechanism. Side weft fork mechanism is a mechanism where the weft fork is placed or positioned or located at one side of the loom. So this is the side weft fork mechanism. So now coming to center weft fork mechanism. Here the weft fork is positioned in the middle of the loom. So this is center weft fork mechanism. After a long discussion, we have come to the definition of the center weft fork mechanism. Center weft fork mechanism is a weft stop motion where the weft fork is present in the middle of the or center of the loom. Excuse me. So this is the center weft fork mechanism. So aim of the experiment: to dismantle and assemble the center weft fork mechanism. To dismantle the parts and find out the names of the parts, find out the connections between the parts, find out the functions of the parts, and find out the working of the parts. This is the aim of the experiment. Aim of the experiment is to dismantle and assemble the center weft fork mechanism. Second one is to know the parts of the mechanism. Third one is to learn construction and working of the mechanism. So dear students, principle of the experiment. The object of weft stop motion is to stop the loom as soon as weft being inserted breaks in transit, or then when there is no weft in the shuttle. The object of weft stop motion is to stop the loom. So what is the object of the weft stop motion? To stop the loom as soon as weft being inserted breaks in transit. In transit means while it is traveling from one end of the loom to the other end of the loom, or when there is no weft in the shuttle. The object of Therefore, the object of weft stop motion is to stop the loom as soon as the weft breakage occurs, or when there is no weft in the shuttle. So dear students, this is the center weft fork mechanism. So please see the parts. So A is the raise board. So please observe over the phone. Observe over the phone and over the picture clearly, and I will screen share it if you want it, and you can get it downloaded from this YouTube link after you listen to the class also. So this is A is the raise board. B is the groove cut. A is the raise board, B is the groove cut. C is the weft fork. C is the weft fork. D is weft. D is weft. D is weft. E is weft fork bracket. D is weft. So weft fork, weft and weft bracket. Weft fork bracket. C, D, E. C is weft fork, D is weft, E is weft fork bracket. F and G springs. F and G are springs. So please see where are F and G in the diagram. So F is there and G is there. So F and G are springs. H is the pin. H is the pin. I is the lever cloth, lever tooth. I is the lever tooth. J is the catch. So K is the lengthy rod. L are the links. L are the links. M is the bracket. L are the links. M is the bracket. N is the sleigh. So here these are this side. So M is the bracket. So please see that there are two M's. There are two brackets in the diagram. N is the sleigh. Sleigh is the, this is the sleigh. So N is the sleigh. O is the rocking shaft. P is the guide roller. Q is the spring. R is the arm. S is the bowl. T is the plate cam. U is the pusher. V is the stopper bracket. W is electric cable. X is reed. So dear students, I will read the parts one more time for your better understanding. A is the raise board. So the weft runs on the raise board. B is the groove cut. So groove cut is the place. I am simultaneously explaining the construction also. I will tell after the, by giving the slides also I will explain the construction, but while saying the parts I will tell the construction also. Please observe. A is the race board over which shuttle runs, and shuttle runs, therefore purn is there in the shuttle and weft is inserted. So shuttle travels on the race board. So there is weft on the, so that means there is weft on the race board. B is the groove cut. B is a small groove that is cut in the race board, which is used for placing the weft fork. So weft fork is present in the groove on the raised board. D is the weft. So actual weft is the D, and E is the weft fork bracket. E is the weft fork bracket. Weft fork bracket means it is a mechanical device which is used to hold two things together. So that is the bracket means. The bracket is a thing which is used to hold the two things together. So it is a mechanical small device, instrument, not the instrument, but it is a device, small, like similar to what do you call this, bevel gears and bevels, worm and worm wheels. So bracket is like some kind of like fulcrum and stud, and all these things are similar in their function to some extent. So weft fork bracket is a bracket which is used to connect the two things. E is the weft fork bracket. F and G are springs. So dear students, please observe, F and G are two springs. H is the pin. So H is the pin. I is the lever tooth. I is the lever tooth. J is the catch. J is the catch. K is the lengthy rod. So lever tooth and catch, they are the essential functionaries in the weft fork mechanism. K is the lengthy rod. So K is a lengthy rod that connects this whole kind of left side of the diagram to the right side of the diagram. So on the left hand side of the diagram we have seen mechanical parts. On the right hand side of the diagram we will see electrical parts. Some of them are electrical, not all electrical parts. So what I mean is cable, electrical cable, you see W. So this mechanism of mechanical stoppage of the loom, weft fork mechanism is a mechanical device which will send signals by electrical means and the loom stops. So this half of the, if you look at this picture, there is one half at the weft fork and the other half at the sleigh. So in between these two there is a lengthy rod. K is a lengthy rod that connects these two parts of the diagram. It is not two parts, but if you visualize that there are two parts in the diagram, one is on the left side and the other is on the right side. So the parts of the center weft fork mechanism are, what do you call, scattered around left hand side and right hand side of the diagram. So K is the lengthy rod, L is the links. So L means they are all links, and M is a bracket. Here comes another bracket. N is the sleigh. So sleigh and sleigh sword and all these things you have seen in beat up mechanism. So N is the sleigh. O is the rocking shaft. So rocking shaft is the shaft that rocks sleigh. What does it mean by rock? That means move like this. So when it moves like that, not exactly what I show in with my hands. Rocking means, so it is a used so that the sleigh will move forward and backward. So that is the rocking shaft function. Rocking shaft means it is a it is used to it is a shaft that is used to kind of rotate, but not complete rotation, forward and backward movement of the sleigh. P is the guide roller. So P is the guide roller. So you know the functions of guide rollers. They just guide the things that are present. Q is the spring. There is another spring that is connected to sleigh bottom and to the guide roller. And next one is Q is the spring, R is the arm. So R is the arm, and S is the bowl. S is the bowl means anti-friction bowls, not anti-friction bowls. I don't know what. I remember that we have used anti-friction bowls in negative taper shedding mechanism, but these bowls may be small bowls which may be different, which are connected to T plate cam. So it is a plate cam is a small cam, and U is the pusher. So U is the pusher, and again we have V is the stopper bracket, W is the electric cable, and X is the reed. So what does it mean by a reed? A reed is a thing I have told you in beat up mechanism. A reed is a thing that is used to beat the weft. So it is used to beat the weft. So dear students, so I have almost explained the construction and parts of the mechanism very briefly, very nicely, simply, and you have got lot of information in this slide by looking at the parts. So these parts, because you might have not, if you want to note down, you can note down again by looking at here. A is the race board, B is the groove cut, C is the weft fork, D is the weft, E is the weft fork bracket, F and G springs, H is the pin, J is the catch, K is the lengthy rod, L is the links, M is the bracket, N is the sleigh, O is the rocking shaft, P is the guide roller, Q spring, R arm, S bowl, T plate cam, U pusher, V stopper bracket, W electrical cable, X reed. So these are the parts of the mechanism. So now students, we are coming to the official construction of the mechanism. Official means what I have written. So this is a construction of the mechanism. Same thing I have told you while explaining about the picture, but let us see what it says. The race board has a groove. A weft fork with 2 or 3 prongs is made to move up and down in the groove. So dear students, you might have understood by right now what I have told you in the picture. It is written here the same thing. The race board has a groove cut. Groove cut means groove cut is the groove here. The race board A has a groove cut B, a weft fork. So there is a weft fork. So weft fork has 2 or 3 prongs. Generally, weft fork has three prongs and it is made to move up and down in this groove. The weft fork will move up and down in this groove. So this is the first point, first number one point I want to tell you. The race board has a groove. So what does the groove hold? A groove holds a weft fork. What does the weft fork do? It moves up and down. How many prongs does the weft fork have? It has three prongs generally. So this is the first point. Next, second point. Weft thread lies over the race board. Weft thread lies over the race board. So weft thread is the pick that lies over the race board. The weft fork is fixed by a bracket. The weft fork is fixed. Weft fork is in the groove, but the back portion of the weft fork is fixed. The front portion of the weft fork is in the groove cut. The three prongs are in the groove cut, but the back portion of the weft fork is fixed by a bracket with springs at the right. So you have seen bracket and springs. F and G are springs, you may remember. So with spring at the right. Weft fork is fixed by a bracket with springs at the right. Next, a lever tooth below the fork. Lever tooth means eye. A lever tooth below the fork and a catch are connected to a stopper rod or long rod which extends up to the extreme right. So dear students, here stopper rod and long rod is a lengthy rod which is K in the diagram. So there is a lever tooth I below the fork and a catch J are connected to a stopper rod or long rod or lengthy rod which extends up to the extreme right. Why I am stressing the word extends? That's what I told you when I have shown you the picture. I told you that there is left portion of the diagram and right side portion of the diagram, and both are connected by a lengthy rod K. That's what I told you when I have shown you the diagram. That's why I am stressing the word extends. The lengthy rod extends from up to the extreme right, from this center of the weft fork mechanism to the extreme right. The long rod, that means the lengthy rod, the stopper rod, is connected by links to sleigh. So the long rod is connected by links to sleigh and to guide roller by a rod which also carries an arm. Dear friends, this is long rod is connected by links. What are the links? L. To sleigh, what is the sleigh? N. And to guide roller by a rod which also carries an arm. There is an arm, you might remember, arm, and below that there is a bowl and a plate cap. So that's we will come in the next slide. The long rod is connected by links to sleigh and to guide roller by a rod which also carries an arm. The long rod is connected by links L to sleigh and to guide roller by a rod which also carries an arm. One end of a spring is connected to the guide roller and at the bottom to a bracket in the sleigh. So this is the fifth point I have told you while showing the picture also. The spring is connected at the bottom of the sleigh. There is a bracket, so there it is connected to the sleigh near the rocking shaft, and the other end is connected to the guide roller. So where is this guide roller? It is explained in the fourth point. So this is about spring. Next, the arm carries a bowl which rests on a plate cam. The arm carries a bowl. So actually I want to tell you about these bowls. So actually a cam is connected by a follower and bowl. Generally a cam is a thing which rotates on a bowl, and it has a follower. This is a mechanical device. All these are mechanical devices which are used in the textile machineries. So the arm carries a bowl, so which rests on a plate cam. The extreme right end of the stopper rod, please see this, stopper rod is long rod or lengthy rod. The extreme right end of the stopper rod carries a pusher which is opposite to a bracket. The extreme right end of stopper rod, you have seen pusher which is opposite to a bracket. The stopper is connected to an electrical cable in the main switch. This is where the motion from the left fork stop motion, center left fork stop motion to it should go to the electrical connections. Do you understand? The center left fork mechanism is a mechanical device. I mean it's a mechanical device, and the presence or absence of weft is felt by the weft fork mechanism, and the absence of weft is sent to the electrical cable in the main switch by means of a lengthy rod which extends from the left hand side of the diagram to the extreme right hand side of the diagram. So this is about, so that's what the last point, the seventh point. The extreme right end of the stopper rod carries a pusher which is opposite to a bracket. The stopper is connected to an electrical cable in the main switch. The stopper is connected to an electrical cable in the main switch. The stopper rod is connected to electrical cable in the main switch. Working. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if the weft arm is present, the fork prongs will descend to feel the weft arm. The fork prongs will descend to feel the weft yarn. Due to tension in the weft yarn, the catch and the lever tooth will not touch each other. The pusher passes below the stopper bracket and the loom continues to run. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if the weft yarn is present, this is in the case of presence of weft. So the fork prongs will descend to feel the weft yarn. So there is a weft yarn. So there is tension in the weft yarn. So the catch and lever tooth will not touch each other. The catch and lever tooth will not touch each other. The pusher passes below the stopper bracket. So the pusher passes below the stopper bracket and the loom continues to run. In the absence of weft, if the weft is absent, the weft fork prongs will descend right up to the bottom end of the groove. So the catch engages the lever tooth. So here the catch, in the earlier case there is no touching of the catch and lever tooth. There is no connection. There is no engagement between catch and lever tooth. But here in the absence of weft, catch engages with lever tooth. This causes the stopper rod and bolt to be arrested. So when the catch engages the lever tooth, the stopper the stopper rod and the bowl will be arrested. Therefore, the bowl is now above the plate cam. The pusher is also arrested in its position. The pusher is also arrested in this position. In this situation, pusher pushes the stopper bracket, and because of the electrical mains cable and connections, the loom stops immediately. So this is the working of the mechanism. Now please see the video.
Let us look at the sleigh's backward movement. When the sleigh moves backward, many things happen. The bowl is raised gradually according to the shape of the plate cam. The arm connected to the bowl is raised. The stopper rod turns in the clockwise direction through the links. The lever tooth pushes the pin. The fork bracket rises. The fork is raised. And finally, the pusher at the extreme right end of the stopper rod is raised. The sleigh's forward movement. When the sleigh moves forward, the bowl is lowered gradually. The arm connected to the bowl is lowered. Through the links, the stopper rod turns in the clockwise direction. The fork bracket and fork are lowered. The pusher goes below the stopper bracket. Let us now see what happens when the weft yarn is present. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if weft yarn is present, the fork prongs will descend to feel the weft yarn. Due to the tension in the weft yarn, the catch and the lever tooth will not touch each other. The pusher passes below the stopper bracket and the loom continues to run. Let us now see what happens when weft yarn is absent. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if the weft is absent, the fork prongs will descend right up to the bottom end of the groove, so the catch engages the lever tooth. In this situation, as the sleigh moves forward, the pusher pushes the stopper bracket and the loom stops instantaneously.
watch one more time. He explained very nicely. The same thing I have explained.
Let us look at the sleigh's backward movement. When the sleigh moves backward, many things happen. The bowl is raised gradually according to the shape of the plate cam. The arm connected to the bowl is raised. The stopper rod turns in the clockwise direction through the links. The lever tooth pushes the pin. The fork bracket rises. The fork is raised. And finally, the pusher at the extreme right end of the stopper rod is raised. The sleigh's forward movement. When the sleigh moves forward, the bowl is lowered gradually. The arm connected to the bowl is lowered. Through the links, the stopper rod turns in the clockwise direction. The fork bracket and fork are lowered. The pusher goes below the stopper bracket. Let us now see what happens when the weft yarn is present. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if weft yarn is present, the fork prongs will descend to feel the weft yarn. Due to the tension in the weft yarn, the catch and the lever tooth will not touch each other. The pusher passes below the stopper bracket and the loom continues to run. Let us now see what happens when weft yarn is absent. During the forward movement of the sleigh, if the weft is absent, the fork prongs will descend right up to the bottom end of the groove, so the catch engages the lever tooth. In this situation, as the sleigh moves forward, the pusher pushes the stopper bracket and the loom stops instantaneously.
So dear students, we have completed center weft for mechanism. Tomorrow we will see some other mechanism. So thank you for all your patience, and please read it at home.